Have you collected box sets of TTRPGs over the years, only for them to gather dust? Or played once and never touched again? If only there was a way to use these games more than once without them feeling repetitive. Fortunately, there are several ways to breathe life into old games and TTRPG materials, and this is what I'll be showing you in this video. So I'll be using the SCAMPER method to put a new spin on the Dungeons & Dragons Player's Essentials kit, so that it can be used again and again. Now, there is no harm in buying new games and collecting. That's great. It keeps everyone in business. This video is for people who would like to get more use out of their existing game inventory, or people who homebrew everything and want to incorporate what they already own into their games. For those who don't know much about the Dungeons & Dragons Essentials kit, it's basically an entry point into Dungeons & Dragons and contains everything needed to start a game. This includes rulebooks, dice, character sheets, and an adventure. Now, it does recommend 2 to 6 players on the box, but we don't need to follow this recommendation directly. We could use materials in this box to create a solo D&D session. More on that later. It's good to think about the Essentials kit as a jumping off point, and like all games and scaffolds, it can be hacked and repurposed for setting and character modifications, and solo gaming plus much more. All of this is possible using one ideation technique, SCAMPER. I actually had about 4 or 5 ideation techniques I was going to use after this, but SCAMPER took up a huge chunk of my script, so I'll be breaking those down in other videos. But before I begin, if you found this video helpful so far, please do like and subscribe, as it's a great way to support the channel and help my videos reach more viewers just like you. Adapting the Essentials kit for solo play and new group adventures using SCAMPER. The Essentials kit includes a section on running games with 1 dungeon master and 1 player. However, for true solo play, where the player is also the GM, DM, player, and game creator, a bit of further adaptation is needed. Applying SCAMPER, an acronym for Substitute, Combine, Adapt, Modify, Put to Another Use, Eliminate, and Reverse, can help with these adaptations, be it for solo gameplay or creating a new world for your group to play in. Let's begin with Substitute. Replace the Dungeon Master role with solo RPG tools like Mythic GM engines, Oracle decks, or simple yes or no tables. This allows the narrative to unfold unpredictably. Here is an example of a D100 table I created to lay the foundations of a Tudor or late medieval adventure. I've included occupation, personality traits, and an adventure hook. I've also got into using these oracle cards as well, even when I'm rolling up a table. So let's say I get an occupation I'm not really feeling, but at the same time, I don't really mind. I draw an oracle card from the deck to determine if I should roll again or leave it as is. In my ShadowDark game, I used the oracle provided by Kelsey when I needed yes and no answers. But I think I also use tables from the Mythic GM Emulator version 2 book, which is brilliant. I'll chuck a link to the video of the ShadowDark one-shot I ran in the top corner and description. For a group gaming example, you could use these tables and oracles to run NPCs, and to add a bit of spontaneity to your storyline. Combine. Merge random tables from other solo systems and books to randomise your decision making. For example, you could switch out the original starter quest with roles from the Adventure Generator in ShadowDark, or, shameless plug, an adventure hook from my D100 table. Of course, a lot of these tables will word things differently, and some may not go into as much detail as the starter quests. But the point is to create something new. What we're fishing for here is a new idea and something you can run with, rather than a like-for-like substitution. Adapt. Adapt the combat mechanics to make solo play entertaining and experimental. For example, you could take inspiration from how spells are cast in ShadowDark and switch that out with how they are cast in D&D. Everything else combat-wise can be kept the same. One combat mechanic I like a lot is from Tunnel Goons, so you could even try incorporating that. Alternatively, if your group is familiar with playing another system, try baking that into the adventure. This mashup may result in some unexpected outcomes. Modify. Modify quests to become modular. What I mean by this is that if you are a DM and player, make it easy for yourself to add on scenes and transitions. You could have a bunch numbered already and just roll to choose what's coming next. Whatever number you get is the quest you move on to, and you develop the narrative as you move along. I'm all for rewriting things, so if you go off-piste and no longer want to defeat the Dragon of Ice Pyre Peak, go for it. Perhaps you've created a new monster, and the Dragon of Ice Pyre Peak is now an ally. I know different quests and locations are suitable for different level characters, but change it as you go along. Make the environment as easy or as challenging as you like. Yes, it may require some prep or thinking, but it will be worth it. As a group, you could make things easier by making the adventure suitable for the levels of your characters all the way through. That way you can mess with the narrative and introduce different quests and locations without giving too much thought to whether everyone is the right level. I know the purpose of the Essentials Kit is to get the players and GM in the mode of rewarding experience and levelling up, but if this isn't necessary for you, just make everything suitable for the level you want to play at. Put to another use. Use the character creation process as a journaling prompt through personal diaries. When writing your character's flaws, for example, dig deep. How are these flaws exactly influencing their motivation? I've got a video on how one goes about writing flaws for characters and also what a fatal flaw is, so I recommend watching that if you want to write some deeply flawed but yet interesting player characters. In a group gaming setting, and also solo, think about the bonds a playing characters have with one another. How can you bake them into the storytelling? How do they meet? Do they share a common enemy they are aware of? Or do they share a mutual friend? And is there some jealousy surrounding that relationship? Eliminate. Streamline complex rules that slow down your play. If you want to focus on the narrative, this might mean compromising on some mechanics. Alternatively, if you love creating intricate monsters, focus on mechanics and make combat as complex as you want it. This of course potentially means there's less room for storytelling, but if you enjoy strategy and tactics, go for it. Reverse. Reverse typical quest dynamics. Instead of crawling through a dungeon, how about you defend it instead? So if the Axholm quest, for example, perhaps the playing characters begin in the fortress and their job is to stop the monsters from getting in, rather than driving them out. As a solo GM, you can roll for random encounters while the monsters are laying siege to the fortress from the outside. How many breakthroughs can your defences take? A twist on Scamper. So we've seen an application of Scamper and how you can use it to rejig the Essentials Kit. But if you want to add another creative layer to this, you can set a timer while you fill in each point. If you set the timer for 35 minutes, you can spend 5 minutes on each section. Think of it as a Scamper sprint. Perhaps you create a mini quest that you can flesh out later. What I like about timers is a little bit of pressure they apply, which unlocks creativity. So what do we all think? Is a Dungeons & Dragons Essentials Kit a beginner's adventure set, or a springboard for infinite adventure ideas? By applying ideation techniques such as Scamper, one can adapt it for solo play, change characters, and rewrite settings. These hacks not only keep the game fresh, but also help dungeon masters become more creative. If you like this video, you might also enjoy my Alien Romulus video, where I use another ideation tool, the morphological matrix, to build a monster. Anyway, that's all for today, folks, and I'll see you in the next one.